I was not aware that there were not safety laws that applied to our state employees. That's news to me, and that's concerning.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
On the child labor bill, are you aware of any superintendent or school that has restricted a 14 or 15-year-old from being able to get an after-school position that reasonable people would agree that this child can handle an after-school job?
Right. I'm not, but the idea that you've got to go get permission from the government to get an after-school job, I understand why it was maybe put in place years ago, but in today's world, with all the federal labor laws that apply where you can't work after, I believe it's 8 or 9 o'clock, I think it's 7 o'clock on school nights, and have no more than 3 hours on school days, cumulatively, no more than, I believe it's 18 hours during the school week or during the school year. A lot of no dangerous jobs. You're talking waitresses, restaurants, retail type establishments, not like digging ditches for a road crew or laying bricks or whatever on a construction site. So I feel comfortable that it is something that we can do, and just leave it between the parents and the child, or the guardians and the child, as to whether Johnny or Mary can handle it.
Have you accepted the amendment that was proposed in the committee to actually make parents sign a form to say that they agree with that?
We had a conversation in committee, and actually there was a reporting amendment put on the floor, and that was adopted. And then I had an amendment reflecting the parent notification of the child taking a job, so you wouldn't have a child having a job without the parent knowing.
I had one final question. We'll let you go. Appreciate your time. The question about, and this is a question about other workplace safety regulations, and it actually ties really neatly because you mentioned federal level labor laws like OSHA and things like this. Public sector employees in Alabama are not covered by OSHA, actually. State and municipal employees, they don't get those OSHA protections. 1819 News, actually, funny enough, did a really good piece about a employee of the State Forestry Service who was killed. There wasn't any accountability for his lack of training or anything like this. And then even private sector employees in the state of Alabama who are protected by OSHA, there's no state level equivalent like there are in other states. And so you have 27 federal investigators who are charged with the safety enforcement for 2 million employees in the state. It would take them about 180 years to visit each work site once, is my understanding. So would you support state level OSHA to protect public sector employees in the state of Alabama, state and municipal, and increase and state level enforcement of federal safety laws for private sector workers?
Okay. I don't know if I heard the second part of that question. This is news to me. I was not aware that there were not safety laws that applied to our state employees. That's news to me, and that's concerning. And you mentioned some employee. I was not aware of that either in the forestry Forestry Commission that was killed recently.
A guide tower fell on him after he was pretty new, had only been working for a few months, had not been given trainings on decommissioning guide towers, and his family was not given a report or lessons learned. There was no fine, obviously, because OSHA doesn't have jurisdiction.
Where did the incident occur?
It's been a minute, but I'll send you the article.
Okay. Well, and I know, with ALDOT employees and people like that in very dangerous positions, my thinking was that they were very cognizant of safety and the need to be safe and take those necessary precautions. But it's certainly something I don't mind looking into. And if there is some legislator leading that charge, I'd love to know who it is. I'd like to hook up with them and see where they are on the issue.
All right. Thanks for your time.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys. You guys have a nice weekend, okay?
All right. You too. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Again, here we have, what problem are you trying to solve? Right? What problem are you trying to solve? Are you aware, I asked him, of a single instance of a student who reasonable people can agree can handle an after-school job? Are you aware of even a single instance of this happening? And he said no. He said no, right? And so there's no problem here. There's no problem with the system. There's not this rash of children, of straight A children who are wanting to work, and the government, right? He used that boogie word instead of the schools. The government is keeping these 14 and 15-year-olds who are academically capable from working. That's just not happening. It's not happening. It's not a real issue. Further, he mentions that, the child labor laws and all of this, and we know that the child labor laws are not enforced very strongly. And also the jobs that you're going to talk about getting for children. Yes, they are not physically dangerous. Typically, they're not physically dangerous. Of course, there are dangers in a restaurant. You're working the grill or the fry basket, something like that. Those are there's danger there, but that's not what people typically think of when they think of a dangerous job. Okay, we can grant that. But also, it is the case that the service industry has the highest incidence of sexual harassment. Highest incidence of sexual harassment of basically any industry in the country, right? Service industry, where we send our children, And there's no reporting requirement for people who employ minors to tell the parents or the child if one of their future coworkers are, have been arrested for sexual assault or sexual harassment. No requirement for that. So there are dangers in these facilities that should be considered when we're thinking about, do we just want to really push children into the workforce? I had a job when I was 17, right? But is that something that we want to encourage more people to do? Obviously, I think the answer is no. I think that opportunity should be there for people who are capable, for children who are capable, in the right environment and with the right restrictions on time and intensity and danger of work. But it's not something that we should be pushing. There's not a societal value created by more children working. There's just not. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.